23rd of March, 2026. How y'all doing out there? Are you doing well? I got to tell you, the weather here is crazy. It was 85 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. That must be somewhere around 32, 34 Celsius. That sounds about right. Yeah. And today it's in the 40s. It's insane, the temperature change from one day to the next. Wearing shorts yesterday, visiting the South African refugees down there in Maryland on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. And today it's like an icebox out here. I mean, I actually like this, but the wind blowing is not helpful. Hey, who's that? Hey, Will, how's it going? The wind blowing is not very helpful. It is cold out here, folks. So once again, I'm doing consulting at the War College. I'm on a break right now. So I wish you all very well out there. I hope it's going well. Just taking a quick look at the news here. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for popping in on stream. So, whoa, we went from 9 to 88 in just a couple of seconds. That's a crazy thing about the lives when you do them off your phone. YouTube seems to promote those. They don't do as great a job promoting, or maybe you all were waiting for me to go live. I'm not sure which it was, but I have to pop out the readers here to read the screen, although I can read this from a distance pretty well, see who was all there. So, yeah, it's a very cold and rainy day. At the moment, the rain's holding off, but the rain clouds, you might see some of them behind me, but you see some sunlight, blue sky peeking through back there. But it is definitely a change from yesterday. It was brutally warm yesterday after being so cold. Just had snow, not much, just a dusting a few days prior. And then yesterday, my goodness, it was so warm. It was 79 degrees when I left central Pennsylvania. And as I went south, the external temperature kept climbing, and eventually it was 85 when I stopped down to visit the folks in Maryland. But when I left there at 8:30 at night, so I spent about 4 hours with them yesterday. Thank you for your membership there. Who is that? Okay, thank you so much for membership. My ears wanted to freeze off my... Okay, well, this is nothing. If you think this is cold in the 40s, you should live in Alaska, or heck, for that matter, in central Pennsylvania when it actually gets cold. Yeah, anyway, so I met with about 25 South African refugees and one volunteer, a lovely lady who helps out from the Soweto, however you want to pronounce that, the Southwest or South African ladies group that helps people. They do brilliant work, and Antoinette's group, as I like to call them. Yeah, so they do a really good job, and I met one of them last night, which is nice. It's the first one I've ever met in person. I've talked, ooh, that blowing right in my ear. It's kind of cold. So first time I met one in person last night, and she was lovely. And yeah, so it was a really good experience, but I am just disheartened. I did publish a video this morning. Hopefully people spread it around, let them know about it, about South Africans being coerced into signing leases for places that have not been inspected, that are unsafe, that in some cases are also unsuitable. You know, well, if they're unsafe, they're unsuitable, but things don't have to be unsafe to be unsuitable. It could be other reasons for it. You cannot stick a teenage boy and a teenage girl in the same bedroom. That is unacceptable. And in many states, as far as I know, it's illegal. So get earmuffs. No, I don't need earmuffs. I handle the cold pretty well. Just that breeze blew right up the back of my neck there. So I just put that up to block it for a second. Yeah, the wind is inconsistent. One moment there's no wind, then it's blowing at about 10 knots. And so it hits you pretty hard. Someone needs to remove that. Thank you. They just removed it. You do not get to write in all caps on my channel. That is a privilege reserved for Hendo and Hendo alone. Please do not write in all caps. That is attention seeking, and that is very bad etiquette on the internet going back to the 1980s. It's considered rude, so please don't do it. If you want attention, put an @ and put my name there. Type my name, and it'll highlight for me, so I know. Anyway. All right, so it seems like we do that more and more each day. I mean, I don't know if that's a good sign. Maybe more people are finding the program because they're writing in all caps, or some people aren't listening, but they seem to be new usernames that I haven't seen before. So maybe new people are finding the channel, and that's a good thing. Yep. No, don't write that. That's rude. Don't call the guy a name just because they might not have known. People may not know. No reason to insult people. It was a first-time offense. Yeah, only Hendo's allowed because he's special. Well, he is. You know, Hendo's one of those special kids. We talked about this last night on Night Owls. Yes, all caps are considered shouting in internet protocol. So internet etiquette, I should say, not protocol. But whatever the case is, I hope you like this huge branch behind me. That thing is a sturdy tree here. I've sat in this spot many times in the past and done this. It was snowing here last week, as late as last week. The second week of March had snow out here, but it was just a dusting. It fell overnight, had freezing rain, hail, and then snow. Woke up, the snow was on the ground. I took a photograph, didn't even cover the full lawn, but it was gone by a few hours later. 5 hours in P. Well, I know people in the West Rand have been without power for 3 weeks. So Is Hendo in rooms? Who is roomies? I have no idea what that is. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, I saw that News 24 is reporting that there's an investigative report out that's claiming that the DA was targeted with Russian disinformation in the 2024 election campaign. Well, you know, that may be true, but did any of you buy any of the Russian disinformation? Hey, how's it going there, Line of Sand from Windhoek? Did anybody actually buy Russian disinformation when it comes to the DA? I mean, I don't need Russians to tell me. It's kind of like the Russia collusion hoax from 2016 here in America. They claimed falsely that Trump had actually colluded with the Russians. It was a total cocked up and fabricated story by the Steele dossier and Hillary Clinton and, of course, John McCain, who passed that off to the FBI. Shame on him. But it was all fiction, and even Robert Mueller, despite spending $25 million, couldn't prove that Trump did anything wrong and had to say that he wasn't colluding. I don't, you know, nobody listened to the so-called Russian disinformation campaign in 2016, and I don't think anybody's even aware or cares that there was a Russian disinformation against the DA in 2024. The DA did enough against its own interest to get itself in trouble in 2024, and they've done even more since joining the government of national unity. They've acted as if there's suddenly an important party and they've accomplished something, but as I've said many times, the DA clearly came out of that negotiation very weak. No, what's going on in Clarksville with the taxi drivers? That's something new. What's going on? Is there a strike? Are they killing people? What's going on? So the DA in the 2024 negotiations, and of course, the ANC is all proud. We heard Fikile Mabulu say, we have a good democracy. We actually got ourselves a government in just 2 weeks. You know, of course you did, because the DA doesn't know how to negotiate. The DA's negotiators, which were Helen Zilla and Tony Leon, by all accounts, I wasn't there, I'm just saying what the news says, really don't know how to negotiate. They got nothing for the DA. So in that agreement, where the DA was the second largest party, and thank you for the super chat there, appreciate that, Bitterender, 20 Rand, thank you. In that negotiation, the DA, which was the second largest party in South Africa, came out with a lower percentage of ministerial positions than their actual vote count, percentage-wise. Additionally, they received no ministry of any importance. They didn't get the deputy president. A proper coalition would have picked a DA deputy president and removed Paul Mashatile, but the ANC didn't do that because they're arrogant. The second thing that happened, that didn't happen, it should have happened, is the DA should have gotten control of economics or the finance. They should have gotten control of the foreign ministry, or they should have gotten control of the police. They got control of nothing of any substance. Foreign ministry, police, intelligence, the vice president, and international affairs, all in control of the ANC. The DA got forestries. Woo, yay! They don't even get land reform. That was stripped out and given to black supremacists from Black Land First, who have no representation except one guy in parliament, and they get that ministerial seat for land reform. And they're doing no land reform. And they got the Minister of Agriculture. And we've seen how well John Steenhuisen has responded to the foot and mouth disease over the past 2 years. South Africa's cattle industry and its cloven hoof industry is collapsing, courtesy of the incompetence of what's going on there. Yeah, so somebody's asking a question. Yeah, well, no, guys, normally it would be the news time, and I have a list of news here, but I don't have access. There's a problem with the networks here, so I've had to spend the morning getting my access restored here because it timed out and they had me out. So me and my colleague and I, so busy doing that, so I didn't have time this morning on my breaks to look for news. Let me see. There we go. Now I can see the chat. Yeah, so you can go and ask your questions now. Normally it's a news program, but I don't really have a news program today. I'm just talking about a few news items, particularly this one about the Russian disinformation on the DA. But again, the DA, thank you, Katie, 14 Rand. Should we vote DA? Captain Gateway, you should vote for whoever you want to vote. Are you asking who I would vote for if I was a South African? That's a different story. But you, hey, Erica, what's going on? There's an OG. Erica is with us since the very beginning. She's been sparse lately, dealing with personal health issues. Yeah, Paul Mashatile never should have been or deputy president again. He should have been removed. But that's not what happened. Don't worry. Love the outdoors. Hey, Lynn. Okay. Yeah, so that's not what happened. Paul Mashatile did not get removed as deputy president. He remains deputy president for the ANC. No, Cranberry. I do it every day. I'm here. I try. Yeah. Trump's negotiating with Iran. I haven't seen any updates on that. As far as I know, they've been talking about negotiation, but I don't know how you demand unconditional surrender and then negotiate unless they're going to surrender unconditionally. Added all the states on my weather app. Big difference between North and South. Well, yeah, but that changes too. But generally speaking, there are big differences. Trump's statement, the death of Mueller, was just, yes, I agree with you, Chris Myberg. It was very, very unprofessional and polite. Look, when Jesse Jackson died. He was a race hustler, a racist, a grifter, and a fraud, and a guy who stole money from his Rainbow Coalition to finance his illegitimate children. When he died, I didn't say anything bad about Jesse Jackson, although it was warranted. It's bad form. Now that he's dead and he's buried, it's moved on. He did a video, ANC calling for law to ostracize Afrikaners who've left on the U.S. RIP. Well, I haven't seen that. Where's that information at? I didn't see it in the news. The ANC is calling for a law to punish South Africans for moving abroad. Yeah, the rally didn't do anything. Nobody went to it, did? No, I haven't seen it, guys. I mean, that's the second person asked the same question. I haven't seen it. I've not had access to the internet for hours. So last time I was here, I worked in a building that's not secure, and I can take my phone in, and I can glance over at my phone occasionally. This time I'm back in the secure facility. I can't take mobile phones, can't take laptops in there. So, yeah. Well, you may say spring, Mike, but it don't feel like spring here. Maybe in Philly it feels like spring. Yeah. Okay, great. Professor G made a video, so I'll make a video too once I see it tonight. But I haven't seen it, so how can I comment on it? You guys want me to comment on something I haven't seen? And I will castigate the ANC because what they're doing is illegal under South Africa's constitution, if that's what they intend to do. And it's also a violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which, you know, the ANC keeps talking about. They believe in the international system. They keep saying how that the rule of law and how international law and international organizations are multilateral, but they keep ignoring international organizations and multilateral things. They just keep ignoring it. Sorry, I got to tie it knot here in my bag. It came apart. It's still coming apart. Anyway, come on. There we go. All right, so I had to tie this back. So yeah, they just they ship helicopters and combat helicopters to sanction Libya warlords in Benghazi. They send mercenaries to murder Russians in the Ukraine. It's unbelievable, or murder Ukrainians in Ukraine for the Russians. It's unbelievable the times that the African National Congress violates the Vienna Conventions. So there's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing unless you see that they support terrorists, which is what they do. They invite a terror-sanctioned Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy ship to participate in an exercise, then blame it on the Chinese, and then do nothing about it. Then they claim they told them to leave, but they never leave. They actually participate in the exercise. They send their commander of the defense force to Iran, who pleads fealty and loyalty to the Iranian terrorist. They have no compunction whatsoever of allying themselves with reprobates. So they have, oh, no way. Erica, oh, that's sad news. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, John Tungay, the founder of the Drakensberg Boys Choir, has passed away in his 90s. What a fine gentleman he was. I saw him last year when I was there. I was hoping to see him one more time. I went last time, and people asked me why I went all the way up to Howick to visit him, and I said because he's a friend, and also when someone's that old, you never know if your visit will be the last visit. And so my last visit with John was last year when I saw him. He shall be missed. He was a dear friend. Eric introduced me to him 6 years ago, and he was truly a wonderful man who had really been defrauded and cheated by a lot of people over the years, but he still had a great spirit, and is the founder of the Drakensberg Boys Choir and also the Drakendale School. He will be missed, John Tungay. Wow, that's heartbreaking. Hey, Karen, you're in Howick. Okay, that is sad news. That's a heartbreaker. Yeah. Yeah, that's not as long as the ANC continues its racist behavior, Captain Gateway. The U.S. and South Africa will not be partners again. But nothing has stopped. We've not stopped businesses from investing in South Africa. We have not put any embargoes. We have not banned, we've not removed South Africa from the SWIFT banking system. We've not applied sanctions on any South Africans. So they're still partners, I guess. They're just not getting along. Renee Cooney says not voting DA, they're weak. Well, I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, no, John Tungay, that's heartbreaking. Wow. John was what, 92, 93, something like that now? Wow. Wow. Well, Helen, they're reviewing your document. That's why it's on hold. You just sent it to them, so of course it's on hold while they review it. That's sad to hear. That's disappointing. Wow, wow. I need to write to Chris Pappas and see if they can recognize John's passing. Yep. Yep. That's very sad to see. But John lived a full life and was lovely. Setting cars, also pulled people from cars and assaulted them. Well, that's because there's no law and order in South Africa. Where's that at? In Krugersdorp? Where was that at again? Yeah, he saw a lot of changes. He knew Nelson Mandela. Yeah. And Mike is flying out tomorrow. Mike, where are you flying to? You're an American. You deleted your message. Oh no, okay, okay. So there's no reason to delete his message. He's an American. He's not flying from South Africa. Mike is an American in Philadelphia. So that's he's flying. That's not a South African. So don't worry. Mike, where are you flying to? Yeah, that's guys, you got that. It's my mods are being attentive, and I appreciate that. But Mike is located in Philadelphia and west side of Philadelphia, and I don't know where he's flying to. I don't know where he's going. He didn't say. At Clarksdorp. Okay, well, thank you. It's not Krugersdorp, it's Clarksdorp. Okay. Oh, he's going to Hawaii. Okay, well, have fun. I've never been to Hawaii. John Tungay passed, Corey. John Tungay. Yeah. I will try to pull up a few of the interviews with John and put a few moments in there and make a tribute video to him. That's going to fill some of my time. Gosh, guys, I mean, doing this broadcasting thing, please read my private message for more info, John. Okay, I'll look into it, Erica. Okay. Yeah, one of the things about this is that when you're not, I mean, I was a public figure in places I've been, but not a public figure in which I engage with an audience or engage with people all over the world every day. I dealt with people locally, what was in Liberia or Botswana or Germany. And I've been a public figure in the past. But doing this, you have an audience and people from all over the world come in and they watch this stuff. And you lose people. We lost the Brew. We've lost Fiona. We've lost Dion Gerba. Now we've lost John Tungay. And as time goes by, people come and go. And it's really, I'm at the War College. That's right, Gary. It's, shut up. Noisy damn bird. Anyway, that's the thing, you get exposed to so many more people, thousands of people, and the vicissitudes of life, births, deaths, tragedies, joys. You see all of it, and it hits you. Yeah, I don't know. It's one that's going to get hit with a shotgun in a minute. So I thought it was a crow, but it looked more like a hawk. But hawks don't sound like that, or maybe it was a hawk. So Charles says it's time that the U.S. change their approach to South African government. Yeah, I know. Okay. Only joining now. Okay. Well, we're all going to say, I say we raise funds and send Chris on vacation and stay somewhere next year to Hawaii. Guys, I mean, Hawaii's a lovely. I'll go there just for a bucket list thing, but it really doesn't do anything for me to go to Hawaii. It's not my cup of tea. I'd rather go to Alaska, to be honest. Yep. Or Chile. It's not a Haidita. Not getting answers. I don't know you're not getting answers. And we lost Fiona. Oh, we lost Fiona months ago, Fleshing. You didn't know that? Oh my goodness, Fiona died last summer. We're going on a year ago since she died. Yeah, it's been a while. Fish eagles in the, yeah, I know fish eagles. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's anyway, that's the thing about this. You get acquainted with so many people. So my friend here is 86, another person up there in the years. And I haven't been able to go see him for the past almost 3 weeks because I was ill, and I'm not going to go to his house when I'm sick and give him some pestilence. The guy's 86. That would be so mean and inconsiderate. Now that I'm better, I'm going to go by and see him this week before I fly to Las Vegas, because when your friend's 86, you should take every opportunity to say hello, because you never know. Yeah, John Tungay's passed. Paula, his wife, now will be alone, and that's unfortunate for her. She's a nice lady. Yeah, so she's a stern lady, but she's a nice lady. Yeah, I do sound better, Helena. I feel better too. That's good news. So I'm not spreading any pestilence around. But yeah. Anyway, so I don't really buy into. I have to do a little more research on this thing about the DA being targeted by Russian disinformation. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they were, but I mean, they've committed enough own goals in the 2024 election that you know, they're running around once again in 2024 telling people not to vote for smaller parties. You get many super chats, Vegas. They just no Piston. That's money out of my pocket. The Texas trip, I had a nice donor who covered a lot of my flight. And then I had a lovely lady who paid for one night in my hotel. So that took care of that. But I paid for the other nights of my accommodation. I also paid for my rental car and for my fuel. I paid for my fuel to go to Maryland. I paid for my fuel and my overnights in Rochester, New York. I didn't pay to fly to Alabama. CNN paid for that. I didn't pay to fly to Twin Falls. CakeNet paid for that, but I did pay for my rental car and for my petrol and for my lodging out there, other than the 2 nights that they put me up, and I was there for a week. And then in Alabama, I didn't pay for the lodging, but I did pay for my rental car and for the tickets to take the Langton family to a minor league baseball game for the Birmingham Barons and stuff like that. So yeah, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars for the YouTube program and to bring people the truth, objective analysis, and clear thinking, lucid commentary, and cogent analysis for the past 6 years. Oh, you lost a family member, Miss Smith. I'm sorry to hear that, but you were able to watch it online. At least you had that. Hey, Shawnee, what's going on? How are things in Minnesota? Yeah, how are the Laring centers up there in Minnesota? Yeah, are they having lutefisk? The Somalis, are they trying out the lutefisk? They should try the lutefisk. You have a full class? No, there's no class. This week is preparation. In fact, when I go back in, I'll be writing a scenario about a fictional country located in Eastern Europe that is bifurcated. And I'll be talking about the leader and how politics and how the end of the Russia-Ukrainian war led to the conditions that led to this breakaway state, and how other actors are involved, and deployment of NATO troops. And yeah, I got to go write a scenario. So I'll be doing that. This week is a preparatory week, and then we have a break, and then we come back. We finalize stuff, and then the exercise is like the 12th of April. There's a plane overhead now. Yeah, the DA doesn't need help from the ANC or Russia. They put their own foot in their own mouth. No, it's not Transdniestra. It'll be we'll be using what is today Belarus. It's so hot, late. It's so late. The questions. Okay, we can ask your question now. It's okay. Shoe plane. Buying your Vegas, Colonel Chris. Put $100 on 36 and Neighbors Roulette. Wait till the second spin. I don't gamble, so I won't be putting any money on anything in Las Vegas. I will be visiting with Refugees, and I will also be going to 2 Vegas Golden Knights games. Yep. That team that's rained 40 years. Please check WhatsApp. Bit of a breaking problem with the family that arrived Friday. All right, Chris. Well, I mean, I've got hundreds of problems that I'm dealing with here, so I'll see what I can do, what I can figure out. Anyway, appreciate all the effort, time, and funds you're putting into getting us unbiased news. No, it's so I told people, and this is no embellishment, I did my taxes, and I probably missed a few things, but subscriptions, that would be for access to services, for streaming software. Hey, there's Piston SA now. Let's start helping a little. Well, thank you for the 50 rand. I appreciate that. To take my uncle to the hospital for my doctor found a tumor in his lung. That's not good. I'm sorry to hear that, Janine. Yeah, Chuck Norris did pass away. People that landed, it was so sad. I don't know what. So tell me a little bit about it. What happened to them? People that landed. Gosh, the sun just came out. It's very bright. Out of fuel and area, not enough in car to reach town next over. That's not. It's not surprising. Son is going to Montenegro. Montenegro is beautiful, but needs to be careful. It's a kind of a gangster haven. It's a place where you can buy citizenship. But Montenegro is absolutely beautiful, the mountains and everything. So I've never been, but I've been close to it, and I know about Montenegro. So yeah, it should be interesting. What's this? Someone said the Colonel. I'd say the Colonel's. No, I'm not a gambler, Hold. Not a gambler at all. I don't gamble. Yep. So life is too precious. Don't gamble. But no, so I'll be going to 2 Vegas Golden Knights games while I'm out there. So that's kind of my relaxation part of it. As long as you don't say it's there, Southern Army since peacekeeper. Huh? Yeah, 2026 took away Chuck Norris. That was a bit of a surprise. I mean, he was just doing some athletic stuff just a few days before it, just turned 86. And then I still don't know what happened. They said that something happened in Hawaii, and he took him to the hospital. He's okay. He's going to be fine. And then hours later, they announced he was dead. You are in Kenfield, Buffalo. I don't know Kenfield there. I don't know that. I know Buffalo. I know Niagara Falls, but I don't know Kenfield. Yeah, anyway, so 447 people here currently now, folks. Please hit that like button. There's 254 likes. You got a little bit of super chat revenue. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. President Trump kept his word, deploying ICE agents 13 airports, assist TSA. Atlanta police also sent police officers to assist ICE. Oh, there you go. If the Atlanta police, run by the Democrats, are helping out the Trump administration, thank you, Chris. All your work, enormously something. You're very welcome. Martin just gave 70 Rand. Chris, for that bet in Vegas. Okay, thank you for that 70 Rand. So yeah, that is what's happening. President Trump is sending ICE agents to help at the airports, which is funny because the Democrats are leaving Americans in harm's way. They are not funding TSA, and therefore putting all of our safety at risk in the danger of a flight, somebody getting through. Okay, Erica, you used all caps. You're not supposed to be using all caps. Refugee program exposed some dodgy practices. Yep. You think the military is gambling? No. They call me a sea theorist, but illegal gambling. Okay. Cranberry just gave 70 Rand too. It looks like we're hitting a path here of 70 Rand super chats coming through. That is a Toyota RAV4. Sounds like a hybrid electric one just rolling by. Somebody just gave their first super chat. Thank you, Cranch. Your first super chat. Thank you for that, Cranberry. Vodka is worried. What are you worried about, Vodka? What are you worried about? So, yeah. The Democrats have left us defenseless. We've already had terrorist attacks at Old Dominion University, murdering an Army lieutenant colonel, a combat pilot with 600 combat hours. Yeah, and the lieutenant colonel murdered at his place of duty, teaching students at the university. Nicola in from Bolito, sending love and thanks for all you do. You're very welcome, Nicola. Thank you for the 200 Rand. Okay, cool. Yep. So it's cool when I see South Africans that they're part of the refugee program and come over here, and then suddenly their super chats go from Rand to dollar. That's pretty cool. That's less money YouTube can steal because they take money in exchange rate plus their 30%. So when you're paying dollars, you donate in dollars, it comes out better for me. They still take their 30%. But yeah, so the Democrats are not funding DHS. They would rather, and the reason for not funding DHS is not because they don't believe in Homeland Security. It's because they want to protect illegal immigrants who violated our sovereignty and invaded our country, and therefore they will refuse to fund it. And they used a filibuster. It's time for the Senate to end the filibuster. It's what the Democrats want. I think that's ultimately what they're looking for here. The Democrats who reimposed the filibuster a few years ago and are not even following it the way it's supposed to be done. They're just making fake filibusters. A filibuster is when someone talks endlessly and they don't give up the floor and they talk for like 24 hours at a time. That's a filibuster. But they're not doing that. They're just saying, I'm filibustering. They sit on their bums. That's not legitimate, and that shouldn't be allowed. The Senate needs to crack down on those rules, and it's up to John Thune to make that happen. I think ultimately what the Democrats are looking for is they think that when they get back in power, they'll be able to roughshod the country by having a Senate that doesn't have the filibuster rule in place. And so I think they're trying to trick the Republicans into eliminating the filibuster. But at this stage, I'm fine with the filibuster being removed because it'll be instituted at any time. But it is proving to be an anti-democratic tool, which is preventing this country from advancing. And as a consequence, we have terrorists that DHS has no idea about, that's not following. And we have TSA agents that aren't being paid at our airports. And our airport aviation safety is at risk because the Democrats refuse to protect America. That is who they are. They're evil, evil, evil. What happened to chat? All of a sudden, there's no chat. What's going on there? I'm only getting top chat anyway, so I probably missed some things. I just set it for all chat. Yeah, so they've left us at grave risk here. Absolutely left us at grave risk. Yep. Well, TSA was privatized, Maddie Dixon, until 9/11. Airport security was provided by airlines. They paid for that. All right. Okay. Good to see you there. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Smith goes to Washington. That's a filibuster, Mike. And so the Democrats are breaking the spirit of what a filibuster is, so they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. John Thune is not doing his job. He needs to do his job or let someone else be the speaker or the Senate majority leader. I'm using caps for years now. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It didn't change. That's fine, Erica. I'm just giving you a hard time. You can use it. It's fine for an announcement. The mods can use all caps for announcements. Okay. All right. So I'll make that clear. And if that wasn't clear, then I'm modifying the rule right now. Okay. All right. Because people aren't paying attention. That's fine, Erica. That's fine. You're good. Anyway, took you a while to type that. So, Kunderbroon, Refugee has predicted Ramaphosa is next on the hit list. What's your prediction? Let's say this happens, and what's the future of South Africa is true. Just joined at this off topic. It's a little bit off topic, Con, but that topic came up. I don't know. What do you mean you predicted? I don't know. Is Professor G doing some clickbait? Professor G, are you here? So I don't know what that's all about. Hit list. There is no hit list. If you're asking if Ramaphosa is in a tenuous legal position, I think he is. Internet got an interview. Congratulations, Internet. Yeah, they're scared about the SAVE Act. Exactly. So, yeah, no, it's fine. You guys, your moderators can use caps for announcements. My bad. I was giving Eric a hard time. My bad. No. So Ramaphosa is not on any hit list or next list. But what Ramaphosa is he is the former director of MTN, which signed a deal with Iranian Cell, and those companies have facilitated arms shipments to the Taliban. And there are 5 lawsuits currently progressing in America that are suing the MTN group and, by extension, Nicklin, Jonas, and Cyril Ramaphosa. It would be very embarrassing for South Africa for those lawsuits to go against them, and then we have to expose to the world that the president of South Africa was involved with a company and maybe even had a role that led to the armament of terrorists. Yeah, so that's what Ramaphosa has to worry about, and no one's talking about. It was briefly talked about in the press last year, but they've kind of buried the story since then. They don't want to talk about it, and that's unfortunate. We just have too many radicals that want to make things worse. Well, I think you're right about that. Welcome, Mavis. Yeah, so that's what Ramaphosa has to worry about. But there's no list. You know, I don't know who's saying there's a list. Did Professor G say that? There's no list. There is no list. The United States is still sending monies to the Taliban. Where's your evidence of that, Holden? We've canceled foreign aid there. So what are you talking about? East Coast ostrich. I'm waiting for an extremely important letter, and the wait is driving me crazy. Okay. Trump keeps on baiting Trump. Yeah, I know he is baiting. Yeah, he'll sit next to Nicolas Maduro. Yeah. No, Ramaphosa should be concerned about that. These aren't trivial cases. These are serious lawsuits, serious cases. And MTN sought to have the cases dismissed en masse. They tried that a couple months ago, and the judge said, nope, there's merit to these cases. They will go forward. So not going very well for Ramaphosa, MTN, and Nicklin Jonas. You know, birds of a feather flock together, and MTN flocks with the Iranian Cell who funds terrorists. So good luck with that. So there's 5 suits. That's, I think, is something of much more pressing concern for Cyril Ramaphosa that he needs to worry about. You like my outside office, the tulips, the cash. Yes, I remember. We got a song for that, Jissy. Life is good. Had a good get together with South Africans. Happy days, East Coast Sox. Okay. Well, you say a worm is way out, but this is American courts, and there's 5 courts. Well, thank you, Alter Sky. Cannot believe what's coming out of the mouths of anti-politicians. No, it is disgraceful, Nico. Nicey. It is. No, Trump is not interested in Ramaphosa. I'm not talking about Trump atmospheric. No one said anything about Trump. It isn't Trump that oversees these court cases. I don't know why people think the president control. This isn't a banana republic like South Africa. I mean, it was a banana republic under Joe Biden where the president intervened and interfered with the courts. But no, Trump has no influence over these courts. They will make their decision, and Trump has no interest in it. And it doesn't matter what Trump says. If a court here finds MTM complicit or guilty of this, then they'll find him guilty. And there's 5 cases. Yeah, there's 5 cases, 5 lawsuits going on right now. So it's not looking good for MTN. We'll see. This could take a long time to play out. My prediction is it'll be after Ramaphosa becomes a private citizen that these convictions will come and that they'll be found liable. Welcome to the new team member. Okay. You think Israel will handle a 5-day ceasefire? Is there a 5-day ceasefire? Boy, all kinds of news breaking today. I didn't see that. There's a 5-day ceasefire. Yes. Birthday on Saturday and all the South Africans showed up. We're about 30. Okay, East Coast Ostrich. That's pretty cool. No, people think Trump does everything. He doesn't. You know, it's like they're like, well, he stayed for a 3rd term. He can't. He's constitutionally limited. He'll leave after this term. That doesn't mean he can't be a vice president or he can't be a Supreme Court justice, even though he has no legal background. He could do those, be a member of the Senate. Well, you say nothing will happen to them, but there will be consequences. You should know what you think about Tucker Carlson and presumed investigation around him. I don't care about the investigation around Tucker Carlson. Let them do that. Okay, thank you for that, Lynn. I've had a problem with Tucker Carlson ever since he slavishly gave Vladimir Putin a propaganda interview, which was pretty lame. Ever since then, he hasn't been very trustworthy, and he's proven it. There's a reason why Mark Levin calls him Tucker Carlson. Have you heard about the possible new trade law for whites speaking out about fear living in South Africa? No, I haven't heard about the law. You're the 4th person that's mentioned the stream. I don't have access to the internet because I'm inside a secure facility, so I can't see the internet right now. Last time I was here, I could do that during my breaks, but I can't. And, you know, I have to walk out of the building. It's a 10-minute walk out to my car. And I have to get to my car. Then I have to go through the news on my mobile phone. So I will look at that tonight, and I will probably do a video about it. So hopefully people watch it. But I did a very important video this morning, and nobody was watching it. Can one of my mods check the number of views you see on the video I published this morning about South Africans being coerced, South African refugees? Not Iranian power grid for 5 days pending discussions. You know, so that's not a ceasefire. Thank you, Charles. That clarifies. That's why I haven't heard about a ceasefire, because there's been no ceasefire. Yeah, Trump said he would hold off if the Iranians open up the Strait of Hormuz, but I've heard nothing yet. So it's not a ceasefire. I just think of the chance the ANC may vote out next election. I don't think it's pretty. The ANC's already out. They're already out. They don't have 50%. They'll decline even further. Although there was a Social Research Foundation poll this week that claims that the ANC is at 39%, the DA is at 28%. By the way, folks, I have some lovely beachfront property that I'd like to sell. It's in a place in South Africa called the Karoo. Lovely beachfront property. I could sell you 10,000 hectares. I'll let you have it for R1,000,000 rand. Anybody want to take that? No one can take you up on that? Yeah. Okay. That poll, they've been pretty good in the past, but I don't know where they're getting their polling data from, but that just doesn't seem plausible. 39% for the ANC. They're getting blown apart in the Eastern Cape. When the ANC loses a by-election in the Eastern Cape badly, you know things are going badly for the ANC. Thank you, Borblum. Carlson lost the plot a long time ago, along with Megyn Kelly. Not quite as bad, but she's lost the plot, and Steve Bannon, and also what's her name, Candace Owen. They've all lost the plot. Okay. 5 days that he won't bomb the power plant's plan, but obviously if Iran doesn't play ball, it's only temporary. Yep. Well, Tucker Carlson, I'm vacillating on him over time. So he got to start at CNN. He used to wear the silly bow tie. He was the token Republican on there, and he didn't seem like much of a Republican, although he spoke conservative points, but it wasn't vociferously. And then he disappeared for a while, and then I saw him on Fox when he replaced Bill O'Reilly, after Bill O'Reilly was forced out there. And so when he first came on Fox, he was doing a fantastic job. He was exposing stories that nobody wanted to talk about, like Wuhan. Tucker Carlson exposed Wuhan before anybody even knew about it. He said there's this place in China, this town where there's this disease that they're covering up that could affect the entire world, and he was spot on. But when he left Fox News, he lost his mind. Oh, you saw the video about the coercion. Okay, cool. 7,000 views. See, Shawnee, that should be already at 40 to 50,000 views. This video suppression is really getting on. Watch this afternoon, Colonel. Thank you for your update. I'm glad. Okay, cool. Apparently, President Trump is sending ICE agents. Yes, he's already done that, Neff. Okay. Okay. Why is Cranberry laughing? Okay. Leon Schreiber actually sent an email saying, I do not need to attend personally to hand in my ID card. Okay. Yeah, I watched it. Okay, thanks, Garrett. Dave, thank you for your membership. I know you've been here around a while. Beachfront property crew. Yeah, no. Beachfront. Oh, that's why you guys are laughing. Okay. Yeah, so. Refugee chat, but just want to pass along info. Please make sure your passport is at least 3 months left before flying to Germany. We had a problem. Well, IOM's supposed to be there to help you, Mr. and Miss Smith. It shouldn't be an issue. They should do their job, but they didn't do it for everybody. Hey, Yassine, Operation Enduring Freedom. Oh, Enduring Freedom is a catch-all name for the war on terrorism. So Enduring Freedom wound up including Iraq, Afghanistan, and I was awarded a campaign ribbon for actions in Africa. Philippines, Iraq, Afghanistan, and a few other places, and a couple spots in Africa were part of Operation Enduring Freedom. I have a ribbon for it, and therefore I wear this. So you can see three of the standard ribbon, and two, one for Iraq, one for Afghanistan, and one which is a standard, and I have the standard. That's the middle ribbon. Let me take a look. Yep. Yeah, so this is the one that I have in the middle. I think this one's Iraq, and that's Afghanistan, or vice versa, but that's the one for Enduring Freedom. If people were in Iraq or Afghanistan, they get that ribbon, plus they get the Enduring Freedom, because that's the operation. So Operation Enduring Freedom. Yeah, so that lasted 2 decades, and I participated in that. So I have several: Desert Shield, Desert Storm, this one, and a few others. So yeah, I wear this hat when I fly at airports in the U.S. So if they lose, they'll combine. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. I'm sorry, Henry. If that happens, it's a coalition that will collapse. There's no way it survives. First off, MK will not, as long as Jacob Zuma's alive, MK will not be part of the ANC, because Jacob Zuma will eat the ANC from inside, and they're not going to allow that to happen. That's the death of the ANC if Jacob Zuma comes back to the ANC, particularly in MK. So that's not going to happen. John Steenhuisen lied to the world because he's not a very bright individual. I'm not talking about the fact that he's never done a trick, or or he's just done a trick, or hasn't gone to university. That doesn't matter. He's just not a very bright person. And he lied or he misled people saying that we're keeping these parties out of government. There was never going to be a coalition between the ANC, MK, and EFF. Not going to happen. And as far as the EFF, they're dead. They're a spent force. The only part of that poll that I believe is that the EFF has dropped from 10 or 9 to 6%. I believe that. And the other part I believe of that poll from Social Research Foundation is that the Freedom Front Plus has doubled from 2 to 4% nationally. I'm sure that's true. And the PA has also grown. Those things I believe. IFP grown too. But the ANCDA, no. So as long as Julius Malema is associated with EFF and Cyril Ramaphosa is associated with the ANC, those two will never combine. And now, with the ANC at 39%, even if they got the EFF, they don't have enough to govern. So it doesn't matter. The MK will not join. No. After Zuma, after Ramaphosa, could be a different story. But as long as those two are involved in those parties, ain't going to happen. Ramaphosa detests Malema, and that's not going to happen either. And Zuma detests Malema, although they're pretending to kiss and make up. So, guys, that ain't going to happen. 386 likes. Can we do better than that? Discussions are actually going well. Okay, well, we'll see. It's true that your benefits can be taken away if you have money from a sale. Okay, first off, nothing is taken away. Okay, let's stop using terminology like that. And they aren't benefits, they're entitlements. But you're not entitled to things if you're wealthy. Those are meant for people who don't have resources. So why does it matter? If you've got money from your home, why do you need handouts from me? It doesn't matter. You shouldn't want handouts. So if you've sold your home or you have money from South Africa and you come over and you have access to it, they ask you if you have access, you tell them, then your entitlements get lowered by a percentage. That is true. I mean, I don't understand why people think they're entitled to my tax dollars when they're wealthy. I mean, we have some South Africans come over and have a hell of a lot more money than I do. Should they be getting tax dollars? No, they shouldn't be getting tax dollars. That's not appropriate. It's not fair. I mean, why are you getting it? We have prime property in Zimbabwe. Yeah, exactly. Fikele was the one that called for it. Thanks for all you. Oh, I've already done 2 videos about Fikele Mabalula, and the shadow banning meant that one didn't even get to 30,000, the other one just barely got to 20,000. And I reported on his foot and mouth disease. You see, Fikele Mabalula has foot and mouth disease. He does. He has foot and mouth disease. It's been confirmed. Yep, it's absolutely been confirmed, folks. We sent a crack medical team from the Charlotte Mackexha Hospital. They went and they actually found that Fikele Mabalula's left foot was jammed into his molars. They had a hard time taking it out. He's got foot and mouth disease. So sorry people are not all treated nice, but thanks to you, things, well, hopefully they're being fixed. You think it's wise to threaten bombing power plants in publicly? The Russians did that last year. Everyone screamed war crimes. It's not a war crime, Jaya. They can scream all they want. The Russians can bomb power plants. That's not a war crime. That's national infrastructure. That's a legitimate target. Yeah, I liked them on Fox 2 for a while. Okay, Sam Stella, thank you for your membership. Okay, when do you disrupt civilian infrastructure, people will flee. Okay, Peace, thank you for your membership for 8 months. 2 cats visiting me. Just love how they walk around the snow. Okay, Antoinette. Oh, Antoinette put an NY there. She's in New York, so okay. Can't President Trump send ICE agents to CWS? No, that won't work. Okay, who's 29 again? Okay. Is it East Coast Ostrich? When you leave a team and compete with them in their space, you better be the one who chooses the team. Yep, Mark, exactly. Finally got your passports. Congratulations. Regarding that beachfront property, I'll buy. So far, my predictions: sea level rising. Well, you know, when the ice caps melt. Hey, Sigi, what's going on there? Watch CNN yesterday. Left language the whole time made me nauseated. Yeah, it will make you nauseated. Ribbons. Grandchildren looking for attention, so got to go. Okay, take care. Thanks for being here. All right. I came and checked every 10 minutes if there was live and nothing showed, but anywho. Well, Chasigi, that's what we call shadow banning. That's what we call shadow banning. So thank you to the 532 people who found me just the same. Do December people fall in November people? No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as December, November people. That's a fabrication of South Africans. You are creating something that doesn't exist. Stop doing that. There are no December people. And oh, by the way, you don't have a case until you've been interviewed. Okay? Once you've been interviewed and you got a case number, then you have a case. Okay. Esther Snyman, what's up? Yeah, EFF and MK, a bunch of convicts. I agree with that. IFP took 2 awards districts recently. It's, oh gosh, it's just got bright again. Yeah, Karen, IFP took, they've taken 45 by-elections, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, since the last municipal elections. They're doing quite well. Yes, Teeny says, I think the ANC is close. The ANC is definitely in trouble. The question is, how well will the Patriotic Alliance, the IFP, and the Freedom Front Plus do? Those 3 parties are all set to gain in the municipal elections. I think we're going to see maybe for the first time, well, no, we're going to see more IFP mayors. We are going to see possibly a Patriotic Alliance mayor in a couple places in the coalition, and maybe even a Freedom Front Plus, because the DA is going to be so weak, they're going to have to do it. Meerkat, we have a live question answer about history. Well, we do that. You can ask, but not right now. Today's not the right time. Mark Myberg, yeah, but the problem is it doesn't work that way. See, you guys, you can't just assume lockstep. The ANC desperately wanted expropriation without compensation. It was the EFF that blocked it a few years ago, and it took many, many more years before they got there. So you can't just assume that 65% is going to walk in lockstep. Some new added stress here in Western Cape. Petrol, diesel, how will we be able to get our meetings? You won't. And that's going to be a problem. Some chatter says that if you buy a car within the first few months, they take your benefits. I intend to buy a car with money. Okay, well, that's just bullshit, Moinoy. See, people talking out their ass, not know what they're talking about. It has nothing to do with whether you buy a car. It has to do with whether you have an income. Most people buy a car have gotten themselves a job already. So that's how. And your benefits don't last, your entitlements don't last for very long anyway. Why are people obsessing about this? If you can afford a car, you don't need my tax dollars. No, it's not warm. It's freezing here. I'm very cold right now. My hands are numb. Yes, Fakele Mabalula is the first confirmed case of foot and mouth disease among humans. Yep. Yes, we asked the petrol station today. They don't even know when they'll be able to get fuel again. Yep. It's going to get ugly in South Africa. Thank you, Andrew Grace. Okay. Jesse, you need to quit asking the same question and get blocked. That's twice you've typed the same thing in there. 35-year-old white female attorney got killed. Yeah, I didn't know she was 35. I saw an attorney got murdered. What happened there? Many seashells and fossils found. The crew was part of the... Oh, no, it was. Well, and you know, that's a long time ago, though, millions of years ago. Cape Agri announced the fuel depot is running dry, no feedstock, and how long before they get fuel? Not just fuel, but there's no fertilizer, too. Think about that. Thank you. People are saying so many things. We don't know what is what anymore. Did the interview? Well, Jesse, the only place you need to go is U.S. Embassy website and this channel. You don't need to go to WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups or listen to the bullshitters and the cockprodders telling you nonsense. All right. If you hear a rumor, if there's no merit to it, I'll tell you there's no merit to it. If it sounds like it could be plausible, I'll run it down. You don't have to go to those places. Stop listening. First off, ask yourself this. So as an intelligence officer, when I use a source, I have to ask a couple things. What is the placement of that source? And do they have access? Okay. So for instance, all right, you ready for this? You could be the secretary to the president, so you have placement near the president. So in theory, you could have access to information that the president knows about or shares. But do you have access to it? So for instance, when he meets with foreign leaders, the secretary doesn't go in, doesn't go into the Oval Office. Secretary sits outside, can't hear what's going on, isn't discussed. The secretary doesn't matter. However, if you're the deputy assistant secretary of state, that gives you placement at the Department of State. And plausibly, you could have information about what the State Department's policy is or what's going to happen for foreign policy. And you could even have access to the Oval Office when the president talks about things of a sensitive nature. Therefore, that source can have placement and access. What placement and access do these so-called geniuses in these WhatsApp groups and all these Facebook accounts, what is their placement? What is their access? What is the basis of knowledge to make that assessment? Most of them have no basis. They're talking out their bum. They have no idea what they're talking about. So placement and access. No, Ian Moon, I looked at your case. I answered your question. There's nothing I can do. I did what I could do. I've answered you several times. Brett was busy working. We haven't seen Brett in a while. 35 rand for diesel. Ooh. Don't get benefits. Such a great gift to come. Exactly. Why are people obsessing about my tax dollars? ANC or spent for us. Freedom for us will be the dark horse. PA will be the dark horse. Yeah, but you're saying it's the other way around. We'll see if the Freedom for Pledge does that well. Do you know that the My Case app changed yesterday? Nope, and I don't care fragments of time. I only find out about it because people obsess over it. Hey, Stephen, how's Centurion? Maybe move around a bit to help those hands. No, I'm just rubbing them together. Imagining that I see a concern around his face the last few days. Found out today the absolute waste of air got approved and is already over in the USA, which kind of made me go to hell. How the hell is that possible? And how much did he need to wipe his mouth after interview? I have no idea who you're talking about, Sigi. Best leave all groups and stop reading comments. It will drive one insane. I agree, Crystal. Having our cultural orientation. Okay, cool. Congratulations. Speaking of EFF, what do you think of the rumors the EFF MK want to merge? I don't think that's going to happen. Remember, the EFF is founded by Julius Malema and MK by Jacob Zuma. EFF's Julius Malema was kicked out of the ANC party and is leader of the Youth League because he attacked Zuma endlessly. Remember that? They don't like each other. They're pretending to be friends, but it won't be. They're dusting of snow in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Okay. ANC is in trouble every year, but election day, nothing changes. No, not same votes. Are you paying attention? The ANC had 69% in 2014 or whatever it was. Now they're down to 40%. That's a huge drop. So people are looking elsewhere. 35 degrees in Felldrift. Oof. Vodka Model's daughter, I watch you all the time and think you're great. Well, thank you for that. How are you? But you're using her account. Okay. Lamestream media should be exploited like the plague. Yet. Most packaging oil-based, huge problem. Okay, thank you, Garrett. It's frustrating for you to do this. To do what, Mike? What did I do? What did I frustrate? The lawyer was identified. They know who she is and which mining company, but waiting for the family. That sucks. So was she assassinated? Already experienced the program, been chilled. Matthew Dixon. Okay, Strutton got Social Security number today. I feel mostly full of spies and cock prodders, those groups. The questionnaire was submitted. It says completed. Will there be a chance it hasn't been received? No, there shouldn't be a chance. It should be completed. You're going to buy a Tesla. Who said that, Matthew? Yeah, I figured that's who it was. Adrian Botowell, thank you for the £5. Yeah, yeah, I am cold, but I'm fine. Thank you for the £5. I appreciate that. Oh, good, Chris. I'll just hang in there. Ian, I can go back and look at it again and see if I got any responses, but I haven't seen anything. Okay. Clients are already complaining about travel charge. You mean the excess for flights and stuff like that because of fuel surcharge? That's how the cookie crumbles, man. I booked my ticket to Vegas before the fuel because I anticipated something might be happening in Iran when I booked it. And then here they tried to get me to change it. And I'm like, man, I already booked my flight. I can't change this now. And now the tickets are up by 50% of what I paid for to go to Vegas. Okay. Okay. Feeling pressure in signing the petition as I'm relying on the person. Okay. What petition? What is with these petitions? I mean, why are people signing petitions? You have no strength in this. If you're a refugee aspirant and you're signing some petition, have you considered the possibility that doing so just pisses off the people that you're trying to get a result from? Not a really good idea. I don't know what this petition is. Riff's hard. Thank you for 350 Rand super chat. Propaganda all over, but here are the true news. Yes, Zenis, that's correct. Knight of Justice, 70 Rand. Hello, sir. We love your cap. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay. How is your recovery from flu? I'm doing much better, Dark and Raven. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing much better. Thank you. Okay. Yes, she was definitely assassinated, apparently by disgruntled workers of the company she represents. Shot 3 times. Yeah, that's horrible. Okay, well, refugee flights will then also be more expensive. Yeah, but it, well, I was going to say it doesn't matter to you, but it does matter to you because you have to reimburse, you have to pay back the IOM loan. But yeah, flights will be more expensive. But the U.S. government gets the lower rates. They negotiate lower rates. So you're paying much less for your flight than I do. Yes, ICE showed up at 13 airports today. Okay. Stay silent and far away from any petition. I would agree. I don't understand the purpose of that. Thank you for advice and guidance. It made my process so easy listening. Good advice. Thank you, Strutting the USA. Whereabouts in the USA are you? Do you mind sharing with us where you're strutting at? We'd like to know where you're strutting at. By the way, the sky is beautiful blue back there, and those clouds have broken up a bit, and that wind is still blowing. 514 people here, folks. Wow, that's awesome for a live broadcast off my mobile. I do appreciate you all tuning in. Good evening, Hannes Visa. How's it going? Get a great video about the NC wanting to introduce new treason laws for those who speak out. Well, I'll have an even better video out as soon as I have a chance to review what that is, and I will put that out this evening, okay? I'll put it out so it comes out tomorrow for South Africans. Okay, once again, thank you for your patience, Sis Thelma, in helping at this honest platform going for honest news. You are our superstar, keeping us positively. Don't go anywhere, please. No, I'm not going anywhere. How's my health today? I'm recovered from the flu. Strutton's in Buffalo. Okay, all right, thank you for that. Keeping an eye on the squirrel in the tree. Is there a squirrel in the tree behind me? They like to run around these trees. Lots of squirrels here. Yeah. You know the funny thing about squirrels, I think some of you know this, I've told you this before, apparently they have a very bad memory. They cannot remember long term. So that's the reason why squirrels are constantly bearing nuts. They bury nuts everywhere because they forget where half of them are at. True story, apparently, which works out really well for the squirrels because they bury so many that they bury enough that they survive, and also works out well for the trees because they aid the trees in burying their acorns in the soil so the tree will sprout from it. People signing a petition will be hurtful for your case. People signing is not doing themselves any good. Yeah, I don't know about any petitions. I don't know what this is about, but I don't recommend it. No need for petitions unless Colonel approved. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. The best thing he ever did was watch his videos. Well, thank you for that, Cranberry. Great choice. Oh, you like this one, huh? I really like it because this pocket right here, so I can put my mobile phone. It actually fits in here. It's pretty cool. It's a tight fit, but I can put it in here. I can put my ID card up there if I want. Yeah, I don't have to worry about people robbing me. Cannot remember which couch. Okay, I know some born mice that bury things like the squirrels. I don't know about that. That's news to me. That's news to me. I don't know about that. Anyway, Hank Klopper's here. There's an OG. Where are they paying? I don't know where they're paying 35 Rand for a liter of diesel. Well, Madeline, it's not just potheads that are quitting. A lot of smokers have quit because they get sticker shock when they come here and they see how much. Hey, folks, push this up to 500 likes. Can you do that? 519 people currently here, 477. We need 23 more likes to get there. It's important. It was placed in the First Amendment. Fine. Do a petition. There was one that someone published a week or two ago, and it lasted like a day, and it was taken down. Okay. Also, if you sign your name to that, you're exposing who you are, not just the U.S. government, but anybody that goes to the website. So if you don't want people knowing that you're going to be a refugee, it's probably not wise. Petition running around started by someone for people whose case are not moving forward. Yeah, that thing died. Is it back again? Well, go ahead and do it. So again, I'm gonna cascade the people who are signing that petition. You're very self-centered. What about the people who applied and put a PRM email in February, did a statement of interest in May, and you're complaining because you didn't go anywhere? You know, those people haven't even been called yet. They haven't done anything wrong. Their case is no less valid than your case. Thank you for the 501 likes. Your case is no less valid than their case. What about them? Why do you just ask for yourself? Why are you being selfish? Why aren't you asking about everybody who's been waiting? I'm getting tired of this. Oh, my ticket got canceled. I had empathy for those people, but not anymore. That's dissipating rapidly because you have no empathy and no concern for the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who came before you, who never got interviewed, who never got called. My friend just got called 13 months after he spent money flying to Pretoria last year to be interviewed. It's getting a bit annoying. And what exactly you hope to achieve with that petition? So you're going on move.org, change.org, whatever it is, and change.org. And what are you going to do? You're going to present that to Angie Salazar? How are you going to pull that off? I'm curious. How are you going to do that? What exactly are you going to do with that petition? By the way, what are the petitions that DRSA has done over the years achieved? What have they accomplished? Did we stop Bella? Did we stop NHI? Did we stop expropriation of compensation? No, no, and no. Did we stop the renaming of Pretoria? No. Did we stop the renaming of Port Elizabeth? No. Did we stop the renaming of Bloemfontein? No. Of Nelspruit? No. And now, Graafrenet. I've already talked about, please don't sign his bills. No, I don't think they're going to damage your case. They can do what they want to do. I'm just saying, I'm asking you why you're signing it. What families have been split up, Mike Phillips? You're not really helping. What families have been split up? What are you talking about? Okay, first off, if you have different cases, you're not split up. If you're talking about linked, if you are falsely or incorrectly inferring that linked means you go at the same time, the same place, guaranteed, that's not how it works. Linking your case just means you're supposed to go to the same destination. Whether you go today and your family goes in 4 months, that's a different story. All right? So let me ask you this question. Do you think that if your parents have applied and you've applied, you've got small children, and your father worked for the police service in 1986 in Soweto, and they're investigating that you should have to wait the extra 6 months to come to America while they discover his case? Or should they finish your case and go, okay, you're ready to go to America. You're still linked. When they resolve his case and it is in his favor, then they'll come. You guys, I don't understand what you're talking about. You really got to think these things through. No, it's not. It's PE. Yeah, you're just giving your information away on those petitions. Well, I don't know that anybody started a petition should be investigated, but yeah. I agree with you, just another girl. People should stop whining and just wait. You know, there's a lot of people who are whining. I got to go make coffee. Okay. All right, Janine. Quagga, been a while working 16-hour shifts. Why do a petition? As far as I see, America's doing those one. Yeah, that's the other thing too. You know, well, we're unhappy that you're letting us come to America because it isn't fast enough. Well, okay, well then just don't come to America. We don't even know our own country any longer, giving them instructions on where to go exactly. All right, guys. All right, that's an hour. I got to go back in. Thanks for being here. I'll make a video this evening talking about whatever Professor was talking about there. I got to get out of this win. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it. Thanks to those of you who sent a super chat. Excuse me. Woo. And Kathy sent me a WhatsApp. Okay. Since when the U.S. Afrikaners go to petition, ever considered? Yeah, it could be a false flag operation. Yep. All right. Well, don't pick on people. If they want to do a petition, that's their thing. I'm just asking why they're doing it. Screenshots about Maze was sent to you on WhatsApp Sunday night after your Sunday broadcast. How much left in videos? They're worse. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just deal with Maze and block her. Okay. So yeah, she's a nasty person. She can go shove it up her backside. All right, guys. That's it. Take care. Hit the like button. Cheers, everybody. God bless.